All right, guys. We're just gonna find a seat in our mat, and I just wanna say a few things. First, if you don't know, my name is Shaniah. I teach here every Sunday, here at this place, every Sunday at 11, starting 11:15-ish. It's a completely donation-based class, and we're just here to find a nice flow, get into it. Today's class, I really want to focus on balance. It's been really important and something I've been really thinking about. So we're gonna take this time and find a nice comfortable position, laying on our backs. Taking a big inhale through the nose and exhale. As you settle onto your mat, allow your body to soften and fully feel supported by the ground beneath you. Close your eyes or soften your gaze and begin to bring awareness to your breath. Taking another slow inhale, deep through your nose, and a long, steady exhale. With each breath, you feel yourself becoming more centered and more grounded. Focus on what exactly it means to be balanced. Balance is not just standing steady. It's about finding harmony between effort and ease, movement and stillness, strength and surrender. As we move through today's practice, honor where you are in this moment. Let your breath guide you and trust that balance is something you create, not something you chase. There is no rush, no expectation, just you, your breath, and this space.
You're drooling on my leg.
Taking big inhales through your nose and exhaling through your mouth, finding your natural breath. Know that exactly where you are right here and now is where you're meant to be. And when you're ready, slowly rise up into a seated position. Taking a big inhale and raising your arms up to the sky. Reaching up for the ceiling. And then exhaling, extending your arms out. Pushing at the walls to your sides, flexing your wrists. And then flex your hands down. And then in circular motions with your wrists, give them a roll in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. Extending your arms up to the sky, inhaling, and then clasping your hands together and dropping one elbow down. Gazing up to your lifted elbow and feeling the stretch on your side. Giving the bottom elbow a little swing, deepening your stretch. And then raising your arms up, fingers still clasped, and then dropping to the other side. Wiggling your bottom elbow. Taking an inhale and raising your arms up. And then extending your arms out to the side. And putting one arm in front of you and another arm back. And just do a nice twist. Looking over your shoulder. And then switching sides, gazing in the other direction.
Whoa. I cracked like a glow stick. It's because girls have cooties.
And then taking your gaze forward, lifting up your arms, and energizing your body, pushing out to your sides. Flexing your wrists up and down, whatever feels right. And then dropping your hands to your sides or on your knees. And taking your gaze up and back, stretching your neck. And then gazing over to your right side. Feeling the muscles that you're using in your neck. Slowly gazing over to your left. And then facing the front and chin to your chest, head down. And then rolling your neck around in circular motions. Make sure you roll going in the opposite direction. And then bringing your gaze back to the front. Taking your shoulders and rolling them back. Opening your chest, closing your chest. Moving in organic motions. And then going in the opposite direction when you're ready. And then releasing, relaxing your body. And in this moment, we're going to take some breath exercises, inhaling from the stomach, chest, shoulders. You're going to take a big inhale through your nose, filling your stomach. Then another sip of air for your chest. And then another sip of air filling your shoulders. And take a second to hold. And then slowly releasing the air from the shoulders, from your chest, and from your stomach. Releasing all the stale air. And then taking an inhale and finding your natural breath. And then once you exhale, take an inhale from your stomach. Inhale, filling your chest. And an inhale, filling your shoulders. And hold. And then slowly exhaling from the shoulders, from your chest, and from your stomach. Finding your natural breath, taking a normal inhale. Fully focusing on the breath you're using. And on your next exhale, inhale from your stomach, from your chest, and a big sip of air filling your shoulders. And for a few moments longer, hold this breath. And then slowly release, exhale from the shoulders, from your chest, and from your stomach, releasing all the stale air. And then a normal inhale with your natural breath. Fully relaxing your muscles. And then we're going to find ourselves in a standing position, raising up. Going to the front of your mat at the very edge. Raising your arms up to the sky and hands together. And then arching your upper back to find a good stretch, opening up your rib cage. Focusing on your breath. And then slowly falling forward. Maybe reaching for your knees or your shins, or all the way down to your toes. Maybe holding onto your elbows and fully relaxing. Rocking side to side, swaying over. And then placing both hands on your mat, taking your right leg back, feeling this lunge. And then if you need to, dropping your back knee and then raising your arms off the mat for a lunge. Or maybe arching your upper back as much as possible. Taking a big inhale and then exhale. Going with your hands on your mat, framing your front foot. You can raise your back knee and take your left foot back for a high plank. Holding here, maybe shifting forward or shifting back. And then dropping your knees to your mat. And then chest to mat, and then your chin. Pushing up with your arms for an up dog. Maybe take your gaze over to your right side, looking towards your feet. And then slowly looking over to your left. Taking your gaze forward and then tucking your toes in, raising your hips up to the ceiling for down dog. Pedaling out your feet. Remembering to take big inhales and exhales in this moment. And then bring your right knee close to your chest. And then placing your foot in between your hands. Feeling the lunge in the opposite side. Maybe shifting forward and back. And then dropping your back knee and raising your hands off your mat up to the sky. Finding your center. Arching your back.
Wow. Shibas.
Taking a big inhale and exhale, going to your mat. Finding the stretch again. And then bringing your left foot forward to meet your right for a forward fold. Feeling the stretch in the back of your legs. Slowly rolling up one vertebrae at a time. And then raising your arms up to the sky. Hands together, and then hands to your chest. Inhale. Exhale. Then we do it again. Raising our arms up and arching our back. And then slowly folding forward. Taking your left foot back, feeling this lunge. Shifting forward and back. And then dropping your back knee, taking your hands off your mat and raising them up to the sky. This time, focusing on shifting your hips forward if possible. And arching your back. And then taking an inhale and exhale, release to your mat, framing your front foot. And taking your right foot back to meet in a high plank. And then slowly dropping your knees to your mat, chest to your mat, and chin pushing up for up dog. This time, take your gaze all the way up, stretching your neck back. And then tucking your toes behind you and raising your hips up to the sky for downward dog. Pedaling out your feet. And then bringing your left knee close to your chest. And then pulling your leg through, left foot forward, and feeling the lunge. And And then dropping your back knee. And then taking your hands off your mat and raising them up to the sky. Trying your best to shift your hips forward. Deepening your stretch.
That's a galore.
Taking a big inhale. And then exhale, slowly release to your mat. And then taking your right foot forward, feet together for a forward fold. Taking this moment to rest. Taking inhales and exhales. And then flattening your back for a half fold, going for your knees. And then dropping again for a forward fold. And then again, placing your hands on your mat, taking your right foot back and your left foot back for a high plank. And then opening up your right arm for a side plank. Maybe your feet need to stagger and one in front of the other. Finding your center. And then dropping your hand down to your mat. Pushing your hips up for a downward dog. And pedaling out your feet. And then straightening your hips, straightening your body for a high plank. And then taking your left arm up, opening your chest for a high plank, side plank.
Warm.
And then slowly releasing to the bottom of your mat. Dropping your knees. Meeting in a tabletop.
The tabletop.
And then falling into a child's pose. Catching your breath here.
Burb. Is the air on? Yes.
Taking this moment, just
That might be a little loud.
being conscious of this feeling of you yourself on your mat. And taking big inhales and exhales.
It's loud.
And then finding ourselves up in a tabletop position.
The tabletop.
And then pushing our hips up for a downward dog. Pedaling out your feet. And then bringing your left knee to your chest. And then pushing it on the ground for a pigeon. Maybe pushing against the mat in front of you and looking up. And then falling to your forearms. Remembering to breathe in this resting pose.
I'm breathing. Penn Island. You fat dog.
We'll hold this pose for a little while longer. And in this moment, if you want to, grab your back foot and bring it closer to you, bending it.
Well, that's what happens when you're on top of people. Yeah, I'm talking to you, you fat dog. You're the fattest dog. Quesarito. Beef Wellington.
And then releasing the back leg. Placing your forearms on your mat. And then meeting in a downward dog. Pedaling out your feet. And this time bringing your right knee close to your chest and then dropping it forward for a pigeon on the other side. Pushing against the mat in front of you, taking your gaze up. And then dropping your forearms to your mat. Remembering to inhale and exhale. And then when you feel comfortable, taking your back leg and maybe bending it if possible.
Hi, Zoe, Ellie, Ellie. Wow.
And then releasing your back leg slowly
That's a long time.
and falling to your forearms. And then placing your hands on your mat and coming into a tabletop.
Tabletop. Oh.
And then fall into a child's pose, stretching out the part. Maybe shifting side to side. And then meeting in a tabletop.
The tabletop.
Arching our back down for a cow, inhaling. And then exhale, arching it up for the cat. And then dropping for cow, exhale. And then lifting for the cat, in exhale. And do a couple of those at your own time. Maybe moving organically in a circular motion.
It's time for the torculator.
And then raising your right arm in front of you, taking it out in front of you ahead, and then your left leg, taking it up off your mat for a balancing tabletop. And then slowly releasing to your mat. Doing the same on the opposite sides, left arm forward, right arm up. And then slowly releasing to your mat. And this time taking your right arm forward and your left and your left leg back, excuse me. And then raising it up as high as possible. And then releasing to your mat. And then same on the opposite side. Lifting up your limbs up as possible. And then slowly releasing to your mat. Take a second, shift forward and back. Falling down into a child's pose. And then bringing ourselves up into a seated position. Taking our legs out in front of us. Lifting our arms. And then folding forward. Reaching for your knees. And then slowly for your shins or your ankles. And then for your toes.
My footuses. Oh. Got a lot of fur there. You fat dog. Lay down. Look at Zoe.
And then raising your upper body up. Reaching for the sky. Inhaling. And then exhale, forward fold. Maybe rocking your feet side to side.
Oh, it's different.
pointing your feet, flexing.
Take a picture. Quad's looking nice.
And then taking your arms up and releasing to your mat. And then spreading your feet apart as wide as possible. You may need to stagger between where you're sitting.
Whoa! Oh. Espérate, mijo.
Just like, I'm on it. And then reaching for the center of your mat, crawling forward.
Jesus, you get a fucking gallon of water, bro? Dude. Have a rag.
And then crawling over to your right side, reaching for your ankles or your toes.
Mm-hmm. Shit happens, sweet. Dude, it's still going.
And then reaching over, crawling to the center. And then crawling over to the other side. And then crawling back over to the center for this final stretch.
Oh my God.
And then lifting yourself up. Take your hands behind your knees to lift your legs up to help you into a butterfly pose. Bringing your feet as close to your person as possible. Maybe pushing down on your knees to help the stretch. And then flattening your back and folding forward. And then slowly raising yourself up. And in this moment, gaze over your left shoulder. And then gaze over to your right side. And then take your gaze to the center, to the front, and then do a forward fold with this butterfly. And then sitting up, then extending your right leg out in front of you. And taking a second to forward fold, holding your foot or your ankle. And then releasing, raising yourself up, and then switching your legs to do the same on the other side.
Little bug in a rug.
Folding forward, reaching for your foot. Taking big inhales and exhales. And then raising yourself up, releasing. Take your feet out in front of you and maybe sway them out side to side. Rolling your ankles up and around.
Come on, son. There we go.
And then finding a seated position. And then raising yourself up. In the center of your mat, we're going to stand here in a mountain pose. Spacing your feet out wherever is comfortable. Opening up your hands. And just finding your center. Taking big inhales. And exhales. Feeling a sense of this complete balance. Maybe shifting over to one side. And shifting to the other, swaying back and forth. And then finding your complete center again. And then taking your right leg and maybe placing it either on your ankle or above your knee, holding a tree pose and finding your balance. Maybe raising your arms up. And then finding your center.
Palm tree.
Taking big inhales and exhales. And then slowly releasing. And we'll just change feet. Doing the same on one side to the other. And raising your arms up. And then slowly releasing your feet down. Taking a big inhale, raising your arms up to the sky. And forward folding. Swaying back and forth. And then dropping down into a yogi squat.
Oh.
Pushing your knees apart with your elbows. And then we're going to be attempting the crow today, placing our hands on our mat in front of us. Fingers spread as wide as possible. Placing your knees on the back of your arms, your upper arms. And then slowly shifting your weight forward until you find balance.
Zoe.
And then releasing. Maybe rolling out your wrists. Might feel like they need a crack after that. And then in the yogi squat again. Pushing your knees apart. And then standing up tall and straight. Raising your arms up. Inhale. And then exhale, forward fold. And then slowly rolling your body up. Raising your arms up to the sky. And then bending your knees slightly and taking your arms out in front of you for a chair pose.
I want to see that.
Bending lower if possible. And then raising yourself up. And then arching your upper back. Finding your breath. And then taking your arms out in front of you and bending your knees for chair again. Taking big inhales and dropping your knees just slightly lower. And then dropping all the way down to your mat. And then slowly falling back to lay down. And then taking your knees to your chest and giving yourself a big hug. Maybe rocking from side to side, massaging your lower back. And then dropping your knees over to your right side, extending your arms out to your sides, and gazing over to your left.
No.
Stretching your back. Finding your natural breath. And then bringing your knees to center and dropping them over to the other side. Taking an inhale and exhale, bringing your knees to your center, and then finding any remaining pose you'd like to do, maybe rocking forward or a happy baby. And then slowly falling into our laying, resting pose. Taking your arms out to your sides, straightening out your legs or wherever feels comfortable. Taking a big inhale and exhale. Thanking your body for your breath and this time you've dedicated to self-care. Relaxing all the important muscles we've just used. Relaxing your chin, your mouth, your cheeks, your nose and your eyes, and your eyebrows and forehead. Releasing all the tension in your arms and letting go of your legs. All that's remaining is your chest rising and lifting from your natural breath. Coming back to the focus of today's class, balance. Balance is the art of standing still when the world is swaying around you. Balance is not a destination, but a rhythm. Bless you. It's not perfection, but presence. It's knowing when to hold on and when to let go. When to push forward and when to simply breathe. It's the quiet space between an inhale and an exhale. The steady beat beneath the noise. To say again, balance is not something you find. It's something you create. Moment by moment and breath by breath. And take this moment to take a deep inhale. And then first finding that place of balance before slowly exhaling. And then returning to your natural breath. And bringing awareness back to your mind. Awareness to your fingers and your toes. And taking your arms up overhead, stretching out your body. Taking a big inhale and exhale. Finding your natural breath. I hope that today you are able to take this sense of peace, this sense of balance with you. And I hope there's every chance of opportunity in your day. When you're ready, you can find yourself in a seated position. Taking a big inhale and exhale. Raising our arms up. Holding the hands together, chest center, for Namaste.
Namaste. Lit.